Hey, long time no see. The woman I cheated on, still alive? You're as ugly as ever, huh?
Hey, is your father still breathing? I heard he collapsed. I'm obviously alive and well. So, what do you want, showing up out of the blue? I respond with undisguised disgust to the two who appeared after 3 years. I always thought it was common to hear about husbands being stolen by other women, but I never imagined it would be my own mother. My name is Sydney. I'm just an ordinary office worker. I don't have any special skills or talents, but the one thing I could always boast about since I was a child was my young mother. My parents had an age gap marriage, and the gap was a whopping 20 years. My father is what you would call a cool old guy, dashing and handsome, and even as his daughter, I feel he's become more charming with age. My mother fell for him, saying age doesn't matter, and pursued him vigorously, marrying young. Soon after, she gave birth to me, and despite being a young mother, she looked even younger than her age, so we were often mistaken for sisters. I was proud of my mother's youth and beauty and secretly enjoyed being mistaken for her sister. My father had a high-income job but was often away on business trips, leaving my mother and me to spend a lot of time alone together, growing close like sisters. As I grew up and got married, I left home. My husband, Tommy, was my childhood friend since kindergarten. We attended the same schools from kindergarten through high school. Tommy often visited my house as a child, and our families were close. This friendship continued into our high school years. One day in high school, our relationship changed. Tommy, who still came over to my house, confided in me about his love life, saying,
"The girl I like might not see me that way. I'm afraid of ruining our current relationship by making a move. I feel like she doesn't even notice me, so I can't confess."
That day, I thought it was just another one of those talks. Seeing Tommy more serious than usual, I asked, "What's wrong? Did something happen?" Tommy, looking nervous, confessed,
"Actually, the person I like is you, Sydney. I'm sorry for hiding it. If you're okay with it, would you go out with me?"
I had always seen Tommy as more than a friend, so his confession felt like a dream come true. Of course, my answer was, "Yes, please." And so, we transitioned from just childhood friends to lovers. Our relationship progressed smoothly from there. Even though we went to different universities, we stayed in close contact, so I never felt insecure. Since our homes were nearby, I often found Tommy at my house after university, eating my mother's cooking. Tommy was sociable and got along well with my parents. In university, we started hanging out with our respective friends, and I was happy to see our friend groups grow. Tommy was friendly with my parents and friends alike. Tommy fulfilled my dream of marrying him, proposing soon after we both started working.
I can't imagine marrying anyone but you. I know our life now can be daunting, but I'll always support you. Please marry me."
I was overjoyed and immediately accepted. We got married and planned our wedding ceremony for after the registration. We were fortunate to have many friends attend our wedding and received a lot of blessings. Some friends cried tears of joy, but the one who cried the most was my mother. "Oh no. Mom, you're crying too much." But no. My mother's tears were extraordinary, and my father, supporting her, looked troubled. I found her tears strange. Even for a daughter's wedding, Crying so much seemed excessive. Moreover, it seemed like my mother was looking at Tommy rather than at me. Despite my unease, the wedding ended with everyone's blessings. After the ceremony, my mother quickly composed herself and returned to normal, so I dismissed my concerns about her tears. Tommy and I started our newlywed life in an apartment close to my parents' house. After the wedding and honeymoon, we had to return to work. Even the mornings where we groaned about not wanting to go to work were enjoyable as newlyweds. During the wedding preparations, we had many busy days, but we looked forward to relaxing together. One evening, as I was preparing dinner after work, Tommy suggested,
Your mom is probably alone tonight, right? Why don't we go eat at your parents' place?
My mother is a great cook and can whip up anything delicious in no time. Missing her cooking and feeling tired from work, I agreed and called my mother. She answered quickly. Hello? What's up? When I told her Tommy suggested eating at her place, she sounded delighted. Your father isn't home today either. It's boring to eat alone, so please come. I'll make lots of Tommy's favorite dishes. Relieved by her invitation, Tommy and I headed to my parents' house. With my father frequently on long business trips, I thought my mother must indeed feel lonely in their big house.
Kitty's cooking is always the best.
I'm glad. Eat as much as you like. Tommy had known my family since childhood and always called my mother Kitty. Initially, he called her Mrs. Hall, but my young mother disliked it and insisted on Kitty. Watching Tommy happily eating, my mother said, It's lonely eating alone, so I'm happy you came. Please come any time without hesitation. We thanked her for the warm welcome and headed home that night. From then on, we often returned to my parents' house for dinner, especially when my father was away. On nights when I was late from work or social outings, Tommy would sometimes go alone to eat with my mother, but I never thought anything of it due to our long-standing relationship. One day, I spoke to him. I'm sorry, but I think I'll be late tomorrow because of overtime. You can go ahead and sleep without me. He responded lightly while fiddling with his phone.
Oh, really? Okay.
Lately, he had been like this all the time. He never put down his phone, giving half-hearted responses to everything I said, constantly checking notifications and sometimes smirking at his screen. Though it bothered me, I thought it might be annoying for him if I complained about his phone use, so I kept quiet and endured it. When he said,
I'm going to take a bath,
and left, I continued watching TV. His phone, left on the table, pinged with a notification, lighting up. Instinctively, I glanced at it. A message from my mother had appeared, with her icon and the text, Let's be lovey-dovey again tomorrow. I was bewildered. Not understanding what was happening, I stared at the phone screen in disbelief, but there was no mistake. It was my mother's icon. Lovey-dovey? No, there must be some mistake, right? I couldn't comprehend why she would send him such a message, feeling uneasy, but I decided to let him be for now. 2 days later. My work had entered a busy period, and I came home late again to find the house dark. After eating a light dinner, showering, and getting ready for bed, I headed to the bedroom where he was sleeping soundly. I couldn't stop thinking about his phone, which was lying beside him. After receiving a strange message from her, I couldn't shake off the feeling. Despite thinking it might be unlikely, I had to check. His phone's lock screen was still set to his birthday, a fact I knew from being his childhood friend. I easily unlocked his phone and opened the messages, with her chat history right at the top. Reading through the messages, I was stunned. My mother had sent him, "Yesterday was fun too. Hold me again, I'm looking forward to it." Hold me? Wait, so they've both been betraying me? In disbelief, I let out a small cry and tossed the phone aside, which woke him up. He rubbed his eyes sleepily and asked nonchalantly,
"What's wrong? Did you see a bug or something?"
His carefree demeanor made my confusion turn into anger. "What's wrong? I saw the messages with my mom. What is this? What kind of relationship do you two have? Explain it to me." I picked up his phone again and thrust the screen showing the messages in his face. He just sighed, looking bothered. Instead of offering an excuse, he simply said,
"Well, since you found out, there's no point hiding it. Kitty and I have been seeing each other for a long time."
"What? What do you mean seeing each other?" The room spun, and I felt a surge of despair. They had been betraying me? He has been with my mother? So, they've been sleeping together too? Is that even possible? As I stood there in shock, he started explaining.
"We were always close, but it never felt like a romantic relationship. Ever since I can remember, I was interested in Kitty, not you. I admired her and kept visiting your house because of her."
"So, you came over not to see me, but to see my mom?"
"Exactly."
Nodding at my stunned question, he confirmed it. I threw a pillow at him, shouting, "What does that even mean? Since when have you two been involved?" He deflected the pillow with one hand and replied,
"Since high school. Kitty asked me, 'Tommy, you like me, don't you?' And that's how it started. Dating you was just a cover to be with her."
"So, your feelings for me were all lies from the start?"
"Pretty much."
His nonchalant expression was too much to bear. As I broke down crying, he coldly said,
"Now that you know, let's get a divorce. I want to be with Kitty."
That night, I quickly packed my things and left the house. I couldn't go to my parents' house since my mother was there, so I stayed in a business hotel for a while. I decided to tell my father and Tommy's parents about the relationship between him and her. Naturally, everyone was furious. A meeting was arranged with all parties involved, but my mother sat beside Tommy as if it was the most natural thing in the world, leaving everyone speechless. Tommy declared confidently,
"The one I want to make happy is Kitty. So, from now on, I'll be living with her."
His mother began to cry. "How could you? You swore to make Sydney happy. Betraying people like this will never bring you happiness." But he was unmoved.
"Even so, I love Kitty, and that's who I want to be with."
His father said,
"If you go through with this, you're disowned. I don't need a shameful son like you."
He just nodded.
"That's fine with me."
His parents tried to persuade him patiently, but he never wavered, and eventually, they gave up. My father, who had been silent, finally spoke to my mother.
"Are you really going to live with him? No one will support this. You'll regret it."
His voice was calm but carried anger. She leaned on him. "I'm scared. No one is on our side."
"Don't worry, I'll always be on your side. Let's be happy together."
Seeing them gaze at each other made me nauseous. As I frowned in disgust, he handed me a signed divorce paper.
So, please divorce me.
As if I needed to be asked. Of course, I would divorce such a disgusting person. I signed the paper without a word, and she cheered. Yay! Now he's all mine. But I'm not divorcing your father. He's 20 years older than me, so when he dies, I'll need to get my share of the inheritance. They left with the divorce papers, and Tommy's parents apologized repeatedly before leaving too. Later, I tearfully asked my father, "Dad, are you really okay not divorcing her? Won't she take your money if something happens to you?" "I don't want that." He comforted me, saying,
Don't worry. I have a plan. Let's live happily together from now on.
After that, we were busy moving out since Tommy had demanded that I leave immediately. Realizing that the joyous days of newlywed life were all an illusion was heartbreaking. I was down for a while, knowing that I had been betrayed by both my mother and husband. But with the support of my father, friends, and others around me, I gradually recovered. 3 years passed since they left. I continued living peacefully with my father. Our life was content and calm until they showed up to disrupt it. Yes, it was them. One morning, the doorbell rang while I was doing housework. Since my father was too old to easily get to the door, I answered it, only to find them standing there. Tommy smirked at me.
Hey, fatty. You're alive. Still as ugly as ever, huh?
Suppressing my disgust, I replied, "As you can see, I'm alive." "What do you want, showing up out of the blue?" My mother peered inside the house. "Is your father still breathing?" I heard he collapsed. My father suddenly fell ill last year and now uses a wheelchair. I had informed my mother about his condition. "Are you here to check on Dad?" The doctor had already told us that my father didn't have much time left. I had also told my mother this, thinking she might be concerned for my elderly father. But it seemed that wasn't the case. My mother laughed crudely. No, I just came to see if it's time to get the inheritance yet." "Excuse me," she said, stepping inside. "Wait a minute." I tried to stop her, but my mother and Tommy entered the house as if they owned the place. My father, who had been listening from the living room, glared at them from his wheelchair. "You're really in a wheelchair. When are you going to kick the bucket?" My mother said, smirking. "Don't say such horrible things," I yelled, but my father said calmly.
It's okay.
He didn't seem angry, just exasperated with my mother and Tommy. "Actually, we're here for an early inheritance. I know you have a lot of money. Since we're still married, you'll give me a generous gift, right?" My mother spoke, clinging to Tommy's arm. My father sighed deeply.
I won't give you a cent. There's no way I would.
Please. We need the money.
Tommy pleaded desperately. "Why do you need so much money? Are you wasting it?" I asked, not hiding my disdain.
The truth is, I got laid off. I'm unemployed now, so we need the money.
Tommy admitted. At that moment, I felt like there might be a God. Tommy was getting what he deserved for betraying me and my father. "Please, you understand our situation now, right? Give us the inheritance." My mother pleaded sweetly.
No way, we're no longer married.
"What?" I never signed a divorce paper.
You did. Many years ago when I used to go to hostess bars.
Mother seemed to recall that time. You kept that old divorce paper? Why would you do such a thing? This is the worst.
So, you're saying we can't get the money? What do you mean? What are we going to do now?
Ha ha ha. I want to praise my past self for keeping the divorce papers. No, Catherine, I want to praise you. Thank you for writing the divorce papers back then. Also, it's awkward to say this without money, but as compensation for the affair, Sydney and I intend to claim damages from both of you. So be prepared. Father laughed cheerfully as Mother and Tommy seethed with anger. Tommy, trembling, asked me,
Is it true?
As I stood with my arms crossed, I said, It's true. Learn the depth of your sins. Upon hearing this, Mother and Tommy hurriedly left the house with trembling steps. After that, I continued to care for my father, and we lived peacefully. She and Tommy, who had borrowed money from a dangerous source to pay the damages, were now missing, and we didn't even know if they were alive. Tommy's parents, who had pleaded tearfully for him, had cut ties with him, leaving him with no one to turn to. Years later, I received a call from Tommy. Feeling disgusted, I answered.
Oh, Sydney? It's been a while. How about we get back together? I was messed up back then. When I was a kid, I was crazy about Kitty, who was young and sexy, but now she's just an old lady. I don't even want to hug her. You must be as sexy as Kitty was when I was obsessed, right? Let's meet up now.
Huh? Are you stupid? Your motives are obvious.
Come on, it's not like you will lose anything. Where are you now? I'll come to see you.
Don't mess with me, jerk. I've remarried and I'm living happily. Don't bother me.
Ha! That's a lie, right? Who gave you permission to remarry? Hey!
I hung up and blocked his number. The year after my divorce from Tommy, I had remarried an older man introduced by a friend. He was kind and promised to heal all my past wounds. Now, I was expecting his child, and I would soon become a mother. My new husband accepted living with my father, and we all got along well. My father was looking forward to becoming a grandfather. I planned to cherish this peaceful life and live happily ever after. How was this story? Please subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.